Hello universe, I hope you are staying well hydrated. It is important to take good care of yourself. I reached out to you last week and I asked what are some of your biggest decluttering mistakes, and really only one thing came up. That was decluttering sentimental items. One of you mentioned decluttering postcards from trips that would have made a nice decoration years on. Another one of you mentioned decluttering family memorabilia, things from your grandma, and all of you said that while those things were not functional and while they were taking space, they were something that was, after all, very important to your heart. And I have my own story like that. I was looking for a teddy bear recently because I felt like I just wanted to hold him, but he was gone. I moved to Germany with him 8 years ago and I used him to comfort me when I needed a friend. And I was really disappointed to realize that this had apparently at some point been decluttered. These are my items. It might look like a small garbage collection, but these are pieces of my life. Just like digital photos, you back them up. You don't necessarily delete them, especially the best ones. Maybe you delete some of the ones that aren't so good, but you keep them. These are just physical evidence of my life, of my existence. Unlike things like decluttering cups or cutlery, you really cannot get that back. There is nothing that will ever get exactly this trip to Valencia back to me, and I cannot pay for that in any way. So we have to be really careful decluttering these things. Pretty much since the beginning of this channel, I have always said, just let the sentimental items be, don't declutter them, you can do everything else. But I do realize that some of you may not be sentimental at all, so what do? I think there is a point for keeping some things anyway, just the most important things, trying to curate what are the memories that maybe look best, that you have the best memory of, and just keep those. But for the rest of us, I would definitely say get a big box and keep them. It's not that much space. You can get several big boxes. I think I am on my third one, but at one point I think I'll just get one very big box for everything and I'll keep it there. Really quickly before we move on, I just want to say that I have been sentimental pretty much my whole life, and some of these memories are probably 20 years old, and while you could take photos of older things, I don't think there is anything else that will authentically be able to take you to the past in the way that holding a physical item can. Now, my next biggest decluttering mistake was when I was decluttering my wardrobe. And the problem is I was looking at what is beautiful. So the pieces that were the most beautiful were the ones that stayed versus the pieces who were not so beautiful, but maybe more functional or comfortable left. To the point where the first time when I really had everything decluttered, I had to wear my boyfriend's sweatpants or sweatshirts because at points where I was feeling sick or uncomfortable or bloated, I had nothing to wear. Then I was stuck with these gorgeous items that I thought would be now the only option for me to wear. I thought if I left them, I would be kind of forced to wear more skirts and more dresses and more beautiful items. I thought it would be like letting go of sugar. If there is no cookies in my house, then I don't eat cookies. But I didn't want to wear this. You need to have clothes for different occasions. You need clothes for when you're sick. You need clothes for when you're bloated. You need clothes for when you're sleeping, when you're somewhere far away, when it's much colder than when you are, when it's much warmer than when you are. Just like you cannot really say at which point you will miss a sentimental item, you cannot really say at which point you will miss a certain piece of clothing. So on that very particular period that I had very bad bloating, I had no pants and I felt very betrayed by myself. So I went out and bought pants that are specifically comfortable for that, and I'm not letting go of them. And yes, they are too big most of the time. Now my priorities when decluttering clothes are as follows: comfort, function, look. If your priorities are in any other way, that begs the question, why is anything more important than your comfort? And we can add something else here. What about the price? If a piece costed you a lot of money, does that make it better than a piece that costed you less money, but maybe you wear more often? Personally, no, although it could be that the other piece lasts longer. So you might just want to keep it in the back in case at some point it can replace something else that was cheaper and maybe got worn out or torn up and you can't use it anymore, but there should be nothing that stands above your comfort. Next mistake that is a bit of a smaller one, but very important: don't declutter things that you need before you have the replacement for them. I had a fake leather jacket that I wanted to replace, and I was very sure that when we went to Berlin, I would find one in one of all of these secondhand stores that are out there. And I went to every secondhand store, and none of the jackets was really what I was looking for. So coming home, I took it out of my decluttering bag, and I was very happy that it was still there. Hang on to them until you are sure that whatever you have gotten now is better and that it works. Finally, I want to talk about decluttering sprees. I love them, you love them, everybody loves them because it just feels so good to be free of a lot of things at once. I have this pile of clothes here, and I think if it didn't take up so much space, I would probably feel great, but there is a problem with that. And the problem is, if I let go of a summer item in fall, I might not be thinking about how I will feel next summer. Will I have enough dresses? Will it be really warm? Will I have something that is perfect for the warm weather? So there is not always a time where you can just declutter a big amount of things and be sure that you will not need any of them. So whenever you can, I would say always put them away first until that time comes and you still haven't needed them, and then you can let them go. So for example, if you're letting go of summer clothes, wait until summer is over and then you're in the clear. But I think just giving examples about clothes doesn't really display the gravity of this tip. I had my bear for my weak moments and I threw it away or decluttered it in a strong moment. So I wasn't really thinking, how will I feel in my weak moments? I will need my bear and I'm not letting go of you. And the same thing happened in my childhood room. I had a lot of teddy bears there, and that day when we gathered them up, we went over to the playground in front of our house and just seated all of the teddy bears over there on the different playground equipment. And a couple of hours later, I just felt so bad about it. We went back to the playground. A lot of the animals were already picked up, but there was my brown bear sitting there on one of the swings, and it was the most sad sight ever. So I took him in my arms, I ran back over to our house and I said, yes, we are keeping him. He had dinner with us, and you can't really estimate the value of an item until the moment comes when you truly, really need it. So today it might be a bear, but tomorrow it could be your crutch to being a functional adult. A final word of caution about extreme decluttering sprees is that you need to consider when you will need something new next, because usually when we let go of a lot of things at once, we don't really sell everything at a good price. We don't really get anything in return. So you can consider, will I need a new water bottle soon? And maybe go to a swap first, go and sell the items that you have for a good price that will finance your water bottle. So even if you have everything you need right now, you can consider what kind of things you will need in the future and see, while you still have that leverage of having your items, can you swap them or can you sell them to get whatever you will need pretty soon. But these are all the decluttering mistakes I wanted to talk about. Now, if you have your own decluttering story or mistake, please share that in the comments. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon. Bye bye.